welcome to episode number 9 of This Is FetLife, where I bring you one new kinky interview every single week with a FetLife influencer. I'm your host, Brian Hunkhands Crabtree, and this week, it's the Valentines Day Edition, so I've got a couple. I've got Lady Eggplant and Courgette. They're into what most people would say are pretty extreme kinks, and I think it's helped them keep their relationship fresh. They're very conscious about their relationship. So in some ways, this is the perfect Valentine's Day episode, and in other ways, it is the exact opposite of what you would expect. I sat down with them in Bali, and we talk about kink as an extreme sport, toilet play, cross-dressing your slave, and the unicorn of unicorns by couples. Plus, we talk about slaves versus subs, how they failed, the most extreme kinks, playing while traveling, eating poop, yes, eating poop, and the unwritten rules of swinging and BDSM. You want to know the unwritten rules, because they're unwritten. I don't think a disclaimer is necessary, but I will tell you that I did feel a little queasy when I was researching the kinks that they're into, especially the poop stuff, and then when I met up with them, I was really pleasantly surprised, because they don't seem crazy, they seem pretty normal, and they're really pushing the boundaries of their relationship to make their relationship stronger. So there's a purpose behind all this. So without further preamble, Lady Eggplant and Courgette. So we're here in Bali. We're by the road. There might be some motorbikes going by. You guys just arrived in Bali like a couple weeks ago?
He arrived earlier. I arrived just 2 days ago, I think. Yeah, this is my first time in Bali, but it's his countless time. So I'm new. He's old.
Cool. You guys have really, really cool profiles, just like very interesting. So I wanted to hear the story behind, like all the pictures and the activity and interests and stuff like that. I guess you're mostly going to be talking, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so
the Dom.
The Dom. Well, the pictures in there, it started as it's just me. In the beginning, it's just only me in the picture, but then we think that it doesn't show very much that I'm a dom. So then in the latest pictures we both get in, but he's not showing any of his face, just me doing my dom thing on him. Mm-hmm. And
there was one picture in particular that I really liked where you were both dressed in the same thing. So you both had like red tops and like little white shorts on. What was is there a story behind that?
Yeah, that was in Pamplona. That was in Pamplona. We were in Spain. We were going to the festival.
Okay.
And
so they're both like women's tops.
Yeah.
It's San Fermin. It's a party that happens once per year.
Oh.
And it lasts for 1 week, very famous. And everyone is dressed with white and red.
Is this the tomato one?
No,
okay.
That one is Tomatina. That's another thing.
Okay.
This one is is another city.
Oh, so what's the festival about?
You get chased by the bulls.
Oh, you guys did that?
We didn't actually did that, but it's the same.
You were checking out the bulls and stuff.
Yeah, we got to some
accident. It started like that.
Yeah.
The tradition was that, but then they built a big festival around it. And now the bull ride is running is just a little part of it. Can I have a glass, please?
Oh yeah.
We're getting some beers here and a dragon fruit.
This looks nice.
That does look nice. That looks real.
Yeah.
We thought it would just be
red.
Sugar water, but that looks like legit juice.
Yeah. All right.
So what was it like walking around in Spain? Are people a little, because there's more like of a machismo culture there versus like, for instance, Bali. So like, when you guys are walking around, do you get stares, or how does that?
Oh, we get stares like everywhere, but actually we don't really care unless the culture is not prepared for it, or it's like dangerous for us to do it. Cheers.
So you just don't care?
Yeah, we just don't care unless we find it dangerous to do so. So we have to find something red and white, and we didn't have any, so we had to improvise. And then we were just thinking like, why don't we just dress up the same? Because I like cross-dressing, giving cross-dressing, not like cross-dressing. So we just decide to like dress him up as same as me. I just dress up normally as a girl, and he will just be a she. On that day.
It looks super cute. Like you can always see a couple, they're like maybe a new couple or something, and they're wearing the same shirt, but this was more extreme.
Yeah, it's very extreme. We also did the nails. We painted red.
Wow.
Both of us.
You guys went for it.
Probably the most extreme was the shorts I was wearing.
The shorts is very...
There's not a lot of space in there.
Yeah, he had to hide his thing.
Yeah. What are the mechanics of hiding your thing? Is that like a tape job or? Is
It's
that just...
a very specific technique that
I'll
he
show you a
invented.
picture how I do.
Yeah, so it's a bit hard to just describe how you do it because you had to. Well, he will show you.
I wear something that I built to keep things there, but it's not like tape. Yeah, many people use tape, but that's extremely painful.
Sounds good.
Yeah, he tried it several kinds of ways to do it, even glue, but then there's just something that he built meant for it.
This is so fascinating.
You keep talking, I'll show you a picture.
All right, great.
Probably you can describe it when you see the picture to the.
Yeah, we'll try. So you guys travel a lot.
Yeah, we try to travel like most of the year, but we will stay in a place for 1 month at least.
That's a good way to travel. I think if you do like just the tourist stuff for like a couple days a week, you don't really sink into it.
Yeah, we try to live in a place for 1 month, the minimum, and to go around like maybe one city for 2 days, but we will stay in that area for over a month. And we have been to like last year we were staying in the Canary Islands for 3 months. He was staying there for 6 months, so it was a really long period.
I cannot find it, but this is the final effect, you see?
So it's completely flat.
Yeah, it looks like there's like a little bulge, but like that's like a normal girl, like bulge. It's like girls have a little bit of the mound or whatever, so it looks completely natural.
We call that thing a hider.
A hider.
Yeah, so he just wear the hider and he becomes like pussy-like. Yeah.
I think you guys need to make thehider.com and become multi-billionaires.
Hider.com. For all the cross-dressers out there, this is an essential.
This is the time. I was just watching a documentary about Studio 54 like yesterday. It was really interesting. I didn't know that like the energy, like sort of the sort of like vibe of the studio that was like really famous, like this New York nightclub that was kind of still talked about now. But it was a kind of like they took the energy from a gay bar or like a gay club, and they injected that into sort of like a straight dance club, and that was the first time that a lot of people had like seen that energy. So you had like all these celebrities mixing with transvestites and, it was just interesting. It wasn't just like a lot of pretty famous people. It was just like this mixing of cultures.
Oh, interesting. So there are like straight people there and cross-dressing and gay people, like all.
Yeah, all mixed together.
Up. That's nice.
And it was like this period after the pill, but before HIV. So it was like this perfect sort of little moment. It was really interesting.
In New York.
In New York, yeah, back in the day, back in like the 70s or something. But like gay culture or like cross-dressing culture, it seems like there's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of, you were talking about hiding your junk.
Yeah. Yeah, we were checking actually on Amazon what, like there are products for that. And but it was it's still a big thing to wear. So we just invented.
Nice, I like it.
It was from what was that material from? It was from a bikini, right?
It was a bikini of an ex-girlfriend of mine, and I modified it.
Yeah, so it became a bikini for cross-dressers. Yeah.
How long have you been? Would you like call yourself a dom? Like, what's the history of that? When you're 5 years old, did you know that you were?
Oh, not at all. I first I started the BDSM live as a sub, like a complete sub, like baby girl.
When was that? Like
that was. Because
you're 24.
Yeah, now I'm 24. That was probably when I was 20.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I had a dom, and it was for less than 1 year, and then we were doing stuff, but then the more we get into it, the more I find that I cannot just follow orders. I just like a lot of dom requests their sub to take like photos in certain postures and do some tasks, and every time I got that request, I just like, oh my god, no, and then it just didn't work out at the end, and then after a while I met him. We started as we were like discovering new things all along the way, but we started as me more sub and he more dom, but then it just came to switch, like we're both switch, and the more we go on, the more we reverse into it. So now he's completely sub and I'm dom.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes you switch, but mostly dom, or just dom.
Now we don't switch anymore. Now
Don't
it's
switch.
just now it's just me dom and the sub. Yeah. So it's like a journey from the beginning to now, and we still don't know how it will go on. Like, am I going to be forever a dom? We don't know. But now it's like that. Yeah. So the dynamic keeps changing.
And then, like you call him your slave
Or kitty.
or kitty.
Yeah.
Okay. How long has that dynamic been in place?
Probably for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, but it keeps intensifying itself.
Tell me about that. Give me an example of that.
Example, like if you check my profile, you know that I like toilet play.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I didn't know that I toilet play.
Definitely
but
going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I would love to.
He was the one who introduced me to that, and since I know about that that it does exist, this kind of play exists, and I just I fell in love with it. I don't know why, it's just a feeling. And then so now I just do, for example, if I want to punish him, I don't know if this topic is acceptable for the audience, but I'm just going to go.
Fine.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk about shit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about shit.
Let's talk about it. So I would just make him, if I want to punish him, I make him eat his own shit.
Few punishments are more punishments than that punishment. So yeah, I can see how that's it.
Yes. And if I find him did well, I make him eat my shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's like a.
so he gets shit anyways, but it's different from him or from me.
Where did that start?
Where did that start?
I introduced it.
Yeah, he
By everything I
introduced it,
introduce, then she extremizes it.
yeah, like he was at the beginning. He said like maybe we can try like just a bit to eat it. Like I feed him, and then it just go on and on and on. And now I make him eat like the whole portion. The whole portion meaning like the whole thing that came out in one go. Yeah, and it's giving him a hard time. So.
I saw one of your videos. I saw it was a hard time. You can see the expression on your face. It's like, all right, we doing this? What's going through your head when you know, like you're in process, you know, you started, you're not going to turn back, you're going to keep going? Like what's going through your head?
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a struggle very often about like because it's hard for someone even slightly submissive to do such intense task, and we decided that I would just keep pushing him and see how it goes. And there is the safe word. We have orange and red. Okay. Like orange is like it's going to be not fine soon, so you better watch what's going on. And if it's we haven't gone to red yet.
Well, we went to red before we introduced it.
Oh yeah, so that's how the red came. Yeah, it went too far. So so
it's like we need a red.
Yeah, and then now it's just if there's
like dark orange, bright orange,
all the way till red. So if now it's like slightly orange, I will like stop. But if I feel like I want to keep going, I will push him to keep going. And but of course nothing like harmful, just mentally harmful, not physically.
Just mentally, just break his spirit.
Yeah. it's really hard to train him as a slave because of what he is. But
What do you mean by that?
he's a you cannot even call him a submissive at all. Like, it's his nature. He's not submissive, but that's actually the fun part for me and the challenging part for me, that I can make someone who is not submissive to do slavery things. So it really satisfied my dom needs. Yeah, if it's someone just submissive, like as he is, I was like, just do that, and he just does.
Yeah.
There is a big misunderstanding between submissive and slave. For example, in history, there were slaves, but not necessarily they were submissive at all.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Maybe they were enslaving a king.
Yeah.
That king was a slave, but for sure that king was not submissive. So submissive and slave are not the same at all. Slave is something that for some circumstances you are doing. Submissive is the way you are inside, in your mind.
So he is completely not a submissive, but I force him to do slave things, and it's quite challenging, I would say. Yeah, but that's also the fun part.
Yeah. How does that feel? Because like for most people who are not submissive, they don't want to do, submissive things, slave things. Maybe I'm using those words wrong, but like, like you would push back. So what makes you want to, be a slave or have a master?
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge for himself.
Yeah.
He's constantly in charge of things in life.
Yeah.
It's actually escape for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enjoyment for me and escape for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also challenging for both. So
It seems like that's what I was thinking. Like when there's the video where you're on the beach eating your shit, and I would like when I
remember.
Oh, you didn't see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't
because
really
you're
remember what we have in there.
Yeah.
She like controls your account. But like I can see how when you're doing that, there's like nothing else you're thinking about, right? You're just like, this is what I'm doing.
You better switch your brain off.
Yeah. And it's sort of like maybe you would feel like you're at a low point or something, and in some ways that's maybe freeing or something like that.
A low point. First of all, I really don't remember the video. Actually,
Yeah, just-
I don't even know what video is in there.
What do you think when you eat poop like that?
Exactly.
It was a video of you eating shit at the beach. Imagine like it's just that.
Yeah, it's just I don't try not to think. I think as little as possible.
For me, it's
Yeah,
impossible
sounds
for
like
me to do
meditation.
that. Like, I was with the dom like years ago when he made me do things as a slave.
Yeah.
I just can't. I cannot do it like him. So I might be submissive in nature,
Yeah.
but I cannot be a slave. And he is
Yeah.
he is not submissive in nature, but he can
It's interesting.
be pushed.
Because you have to have some like strength to go, to that distance as a slave, to like do that thing that you don't want to do. Like you have to have some like, I'm going to do this even if the alarm bells are ringing and like, stop. What am I doing? Like questioning yourself and everything. You're just like, nope, didn't do it. Like that takes some inner like balls or whatever.
Focus. Yeah, call it like meditation.
Are you guys always switched on? The dynamic is always there, or you have like different times where you turn it on and off?
We try to keep it there as much as possible, but well, we all have moods. We all have like things to do that we cannot always be in this mode. So we try to live it at 24 hours, but it's really hard. It's like really hard because when you have stuff to deal with in life, you cannot just still be in that mood.
Yeah.
Especially when you go into that mood to challenge yourself, you have to focus on that. You cannot focus on anything else. So,
Does it challenge you too?
oh, very much.
Yeah.
So wanted to be a dom, but my nature is nothing of a dom.
You're very soft spoken. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, you seem very soft spoken. Very. Yeah.
you think, oh wow. So it's really hard for me to do so.
Mm-hmm.
But when I manage to do it, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
For me, and it's but when I fail to do it, it's also very devastating. So this thing is something that I have to really focus on and try hard to get the result. Yeah, it's not my nature, but I enjoy doing it.
Seems like maybe in Asian culture especially, there's a lot of expectations around girls, being, I guess, traditionally submissive and like soft spoken and very nice. And like if you have that sort of grain of dominance in you, it's probably nice to sort of let it.
That's mostly true for Japan and Korea, but China is different.
Yeah,
That's true.
Chinese and Taiwanese. Well,
Some lady bosses.
yeah, there's lots, but
Chinese
Chinese is completely like girls are like strong.
Chinese girls are in control of the couple.
Yeah.
Even if maybe externally they have to present it in a different way. But Chinese girls are quite dominant.
And Taiwanese girls, they are dominant as well, but in a different way. That they will be cute and make you suffer. Like they won't get mad at you. They would just be like how do you say that? How do you say the term? I forgot. But they would just like act like something is normal, but they will make you like know something is not normal.
It's like passive aggressive.
Yeah. That's they do that all the time and make you suffer.
And Chinese girls will
just like slap you in the face. Yeah, that's what I know. Yeah, and Japanese girls and they're really submissive. So, well, depends on your taste.
Yeah. So growing up, you identified as a submissive, and then you said it's been hard to sort of bring on the dominant side. And you said sometimes you fail. Is there an example you can think of where like you failed and it was like, crap?
Yeah, I fail every day. With him, I fail every day. Like just before dinner, because we were trying to do like to push him really hard. Like we would say for 1 week we do this experiment that I try to push as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And but every time we cannot manage to do a week, not even like 2 days. We can manage to do one task. I push him really hard, but then
what's an example of like where you're like, this week we're gonna do this really hard? Is it all things, or is it just like this one aspect?
Oh, everything. I can show you a list that we just made for like this 2 days, what we're going to do. And let me check. Oh, there's lots of stuff in it, and we wanted to do it. We want to scramble it in 2 days and do all. And I just push him to his limit. But like for example, this 2 days is very busy, and I was just settling in and just for like. He was expecting me to be like really bitchy to him. Okay. And then...
But like you just got off a flight and you're like...
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it's so hot here and so messy here. Well, where am I? And I was just not in the place yet.
Yeah.
And before dinner, we just had this discussion. We ran out of the water. And someone has to go buy water. And... I was just like, oh my God, I'm so thirsty. I need to get some water. And I just asked him, should I go buy some water? And he said yes. And so I go buy, and I got the water, and I drink it. It's perfect, right? And then just before dinner, he told me that this is the perfect example of me not being in charge. Because I should have told him that you go buy water for me.
You guys have fights about the exact reverse things that most girls and guys have fights about.
Yeah.
It's like, why did you do the dishes? You're supposed to make me do the dishes.
Yeah, people have a hard time understanding our dynamics, so we usually don't discuss it with friends and like around us unless they're like into BDSM life.
Did you guys do anything special for Valentine's Day?
We went.
That was yesterday. For the podcast listeners.
Oh, for yesterday we went to see the 2 beaches. one just to visit, and then one for sunset, and then we went to a restaurant. It was kind of like a normal couple Valentine, not like a BDSM kind. Did we do anything in the morning? That's
I had to swallow some if I remember correctly, but apart from swallowing, not all normal.
Wait, apart from what?
actually we had a preparation for Valentine's Day the day before, but then we just got so like overwhelmed by what's all around us, and we completely forget. It's the day I arrived. I hold my shit for like 1 day and not do any. It's just hard. And then as soon as I arrived, I directly shit inside his ass.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah. So like how, right?
That's amazing.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it sounds complicated.
And he has to hold it. He has to hold it, and then we went out for partying, and went to a club, and like we danced.
Where do you even get this idea? Do you just like have like you wake up at night and you're like, you know what, like pencil, pad of paper by the bed or something, write it down, go back to sleep. Like you wake up, you're like, that's a smart idea. Like, that's I would never even imagine that, to like shit directly in someone's ass. That's amazing.
We do a lot of we do
It's very creative.
we do a lot of fisting. I fist him.
I've seen that in the photos.
Yeah, and he trained himself to be very flexible.
Right.
So
with the stubby can, I saw that. The stubby can.
Yeah.
The small can.
Yeah, and
No, it's not.
Or just a normal can.
It's a normal size can, but that's
Okay.
and then we start using like something like this, big things.
Like a big.
Yeah, so he gets super
Big old-
stretchy.
Okay.
But there's nothing damaged
Yeah.
thing to his body, but it's just very stretchy. And then we were thinking like, what can go in?
Yeah.
Yeah, then why not poop? Like it's going from this hole, why not the hole behind?
Sure.
Yeah. So that's how it came. Yeah, probably that's how the idea came. And the idea
You
was
guys just thought it up.
yeah, the idea was he hold it, and then after a while he will have to let it come out, and then he will eat it.
Yeah. That's.
But then we
that's,
totally forgot.
you forgot.
And he just slept with it until the next day. So let me show you all the things that we were planning to do, but we just didn't do much.
You guys are very like conscious, very like plan things out. You're like, we're working on this.
We're always planning, but we're
Yeah.
it's hard to carry things out, but we're constantly planning.
That's cool. I mean, most people in their relationships, just most normal people, they don't do any planning. They don't do
Probably
anything.
Much.
It's like you guys are actually sort of designing things like we want it to be this way this week, this way next week. We're kind of growing together. We're at things we're trying to experiment with.
We really did a lot of we were constantly wanted to experiment on things, and we have like a big goal in our mind that what we want to achieve, but we know that it's just it's everything is hard, but it's enjoyable at the same time.
Where does the drive for the growth and the experimentation, where do you think that comes from?
Good question. The drive. Well, it's that sometimes you do something that, for example, we planned these things out.
Yeah.
Like all the tasks we got from 1 to like 27.
Yeah, so you've got a
Like
list
it's all
here.
the stuff that we want to do, like how I'm going to like make him a slave. But then, I think the drive is when we achieve one thing, just one thing.
Yep.
The feeling you have inside is like it's kind of addictive. It's kind of addictive, but at the same time, you need to put lots of effort to make that happen. So
Especially when you have like a list and you're checking it off because you're like sleep number 10, sleep on the floor, and then below that is 2nd of February, slept on the floor for 2 hours.
yeah, then
like,
it's like when we got it, and we have this list because based on the past experiences, if we don't have something like this, we just I would just forgot to do something.
Yeah.
And then I would suddenly I want to do something. I don't know what. And
okay.
I have to look, I have to think, and I have to plan. And this is easier. If I want to do something, I just pick one from the list and make him do it.
Yeah.
It's like instant.
Yeah.
And another example of instant, like getting rid of the obstacles between starting and finishing the task is like right now in the toilet. He puts a plate in it, so I just do my thing. I don't flush, and
just like sitting down there. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and the plate would just catch whatever I produce.
Sure.
And then it would just
and shit.
Yeah, and it would just go in.
Go in.
From here or there. Yeah.
Does that ever make you sick? Like, do you throw up or something, or like, do you get like a upset stomach when you eat like shit or something?
It can happen, but not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, it happened that he threw up because of the taste, not because of the
most of the time.
Or probably the texture.
The texture
is it? which is it?
If someone does, it's like chocolate. No, it's not.
I've tried eating myself too. Because I was a submissive at the beginning, and after meeting him, I know about this toilet play. So I fed him, and I saw that it's quite enjoyable for me to watch, and I feel like he is enjoying it the moment of the meditation, and then I wanted to try. So I think I ate mine. Did I ate mine or ate yours?
I don't remember.
Yeah, and it was bad. It was bad. So it makes me even more. It assured me that it's going to be something I can use to torture him because it's bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've talked to other like DOMs, and they're like, you have to test. You have to test like the tool or whatever you're going to use
test
on yourself. So you can know how bad it feels for the other person.
Yep.
Anyway, about you asked before, why is that?
The drive.
Why do people do bungee jumping? Explain to me, because it doesn't make any sense.
Excitement.
Yeah, exactly, same. Keep going. Why do they do that?
Maybe, probably just the adrenaline. It's dangerous, a little bit. Like just enough.
Exactly the same. You see.
Yeah.
So if you can define why people do bungee jumping, you apply exactly the same, and it works.
Do you think is it the same type of people who, because it seems like in relationships people just default to like the boring routine stuff, but then like, is it the same sort of adrenaline junkies or something, or the people?
Well, first of all, I could not stay in a standard relationship because I would get bored after 1 week, as it happened several times. I was telling the girl, listen, you either change or goodbye, and I cannot do just boring. And but really, bungee jumping really works well to describe it.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
Yes, and you also have to train your mind to do that, because if you do it, you have to be mentally prepared. So you are doing something dangerous, okay, fine, but at the same time, you are training your mind, you are calming down, you are learning to meditate, you are learning to reach a higher state of self. Same.
Do you like extreme sports a lot?
I also do that, yes.
Yeah. Cool.
He likes extreme getting lost.
Yeah.
Like in the mountains.
Like in the flow.
Yeah, in the flow and also in the real mountains. Yeah. So we sometimes do like in the nature. We do stuff in the nature. So we go to like really remote places where there's no one and it's like quite hard to get to, and we try to do something there. So like and there's occasions that when we are doing stuff, people kink. And it's actually more fun because then they accidentally see us doing things. For example, like we were trekking in Bulgaria, I think. Okay. And I put the dog leash on him.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like walk him as a dog, and then it was all fine until two people came to the road, and they were like staring at us, and he became super nervous.
It was
But
a full family.
and it was they were like a full family. So I just like we would just keep it on, like wait and pretend nothing happened, and then we just walk along the way. It was quite fun. Yeah, that was quite fun.
What's like you said, in some countries you don't do kink stuff because it's like dangerous. Was there any country that made you feel that way?
Was there any so far that we went to?
You have to adjust based on where you are.
So it's not black or white. It's just you sort of tone it back a little bit.
Yeah, because I make him wear like female clothes, and also there's something I'm really proud of is he has bikini tan.
Okay.
Yeah, here and down there. It's really well shaped. And when we have to get topless at the beach or something, we have to consider.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have to consider if it's appropriate to do so.
To like show people the bikini the tan lines.
Yeah.
What would people do? How would they react?
I think you can see.
Oh yeah.
See?
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, many times they just stare.
They'll just stare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of time he told me that they will get offended.
Yeah.
Like I don't quite understand why they will get offended.
I've got this. No worries.
So
I think feel like because like now that I think about it, like probably cross-dressing is more contentious than like you dressing up a little bit more dom, or even I don't know. It seems like cross-dressing sort of triggers something in guys. And
you mean in kinky guys or like normal guys?
And like non-kinky guys,
Oh,
like guys with their families walking around.
Well, that I really don't know because I'm not a guy. So
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel when you're cross-dressed?
Well, all my clothes are girl. This one is a girl T-shirt. This trouser is girl. The panties I have are girls. So
Okay.
everything
He doesn't
is
have
girl.
any. He doesn't have any male panties.
Okay.
But like, how do you feel when you are cross-dressed by me and then like visually very evident and in front of a straight guy? Do you feel like he's like offended or something?
The point is, I ask her, do you want me like that? Do you know what it's going to be like? Do you realize the situation? So I want her to take responsibility of it. And, I want her to realize what I'm doing and where I'm going to be and what people will think and so on. If she realizes the situation and she takes responsibility, okay, I go for it. But I want to make sure that she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, makes sense.
And many times I would just go for it because at first people don't really care. They walk by and don't really care unless they're like extreme people. Like they cannot accept that there's something wrong with the world. And the other thing that it's good that he will feel humiliated. And that's what we want. We want that feeling.
Do you actually feel humiliated? I don't think you do.
It's quite humiliating to go out like with the golden shoes that we just got and so on. So
Yeah.
it's quite humiliating, yes.
Do you like I can see it in another sense though. You'd feel kind of like like these people, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's like boring vanilla folk. It's like I'm doing my own thing. I have like an interesting life. And do you feel that also, or like do the stares actually make you feel bad, or it's just like fuck you guys?
Just ignore.
Yeah.
Just whatever, think whatever.
I think like the normal people, like non-kinky people, the vanilla people, they're there, but they're quite like important to be there. because that shows how like the contracts between us.
Exactly.
So
some people will judge and in a negative way. Some people will just pass by, not even acknowledging it. And some people will, and that's a small percentage, might find, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we've ever run into people that actually judge, like say something to us that this is like.
They just look.
Yeah, they just look, and they will forget about it like 3 seconds later.
Yeah.
But
after telling all the friends.
yeah, which is fine. Which is fine for me. It's humiliating for you and good for me. So, and well, at the moment that they stare, it's great. It's great because they're curious what's going on. They might feel a little bit uncomfortable. They gain a story to tell for the rest of the day, and he got the humiliation, and I got the enjoyment. So it works for everyone. I don't think
what I don't want to do is being in a situation where I offend someone.
Okay.
That's I really don't want to do.
Like really, like
Because
like a child or something, or
yeah, wherever is like something that is not appropriate because it will offend people, I don't want to do that.
okay, like if you like it offends their religion or something like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
So, for example, in UK, having sex in a public place, as long as it's in a discreet place, is legal.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one knows, well, apart from people who live in UK. It's legal. So, if I am, for example, in a park, okay, in the dark, and I'm having sex, and someone sees me, that is, even by the law, UK law, it's not offensive. So I don't have a problem to do that. But for example, if I do in other places, especially, for example, imagine a Muslim place, apart from being illegal, but I am deeply offending people, and I don't want to do that.
Still working on it. Thank you.
So my kink is my fun, is my whatever way of doing things and so on. But it doesn't have to come to the expense of someone else.
Right. Where, yeah, because some people, I mean, if it's a religious thing, they might think like, oh, you're making
against.
Yeah, it's like you're hurting, like this is now an impure area or something, and we need to like wash it 7 times with whatever. Or like they have all these statues out here of like the gods facing the ocean because it's like protection. It's like all the statues always face outwards. It's like protection. So they probably think like, oh shit, now we need to do some extra offerings because of yeah. So if it's not like that, then you guys are cool to just do whatever, kind of push it.
Yeah, if it's clearly offensive to some cultural settings, then we will just hold back and we will do it like, for example, at home, something like that. But if it's something that just for the entertainment of people on the street and humiliating for him, then we just go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
So you guys are both bisexual? Is it hard to find like truly bisexual couples in the kink community?
Very hard. Mostly it's mostly girls are bisexual, or at least they have no problem playing with girls. But guys, it's hard to find like actual bisexual guys. We have a month ago in Taiwan, we played with a guy, but there was there were 4 of us. There was my friend. There was our friend A. Yeah. The guy who came and he said he played with guys before, but then he was totally uncomfortable playing with guys.
The guy you invited?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, that one was a bit of a weird situation. Okay, fine, yeah.
Yeah, so we want to find people that are actually bisexual so we can like all play. And I like to see like him being fucked by a guy. So I want that to happen when we played. So and the guy came and we we played a bit, but then he just couldn't get hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to strip for him to get hard.
Okay.
So he came just to get girls,
Okay.
not to actually do what we were discussing to do.
Yeah, I saw you
really
guys had a party in like November or something where it was like a play party or something, but it said no straight guys. So
Because there's so many straight guys,
yeah, there's a
and just they accept to meet us just to fuck me. So I don't want that. Yeah. So I want someone that really is into kinky stuff that we're all into, and who enjoys playing with balls. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. But it's really hard for girls. It's already hard to get girls, but like getting bisexual girls is also like even hard. You always get a girl from a couple, and the guy from the couple is not bisexual, so the girl won't play because it's complicated. Yeah,
girls are a lot more fluid on
if
that.
they're on their own. Yeah, if they're single, then they're like both of us. It's very fun to play together. Yeah, but it's hard to find bisexual couples.
Yeah. Do you have like a short list, of like bisexual couples in different countries and stuff like that? Like, when we're in Bulgaria next time, it's just one couple.
Yeah, we wish. Yeah.
That's the next .com.
Yeah.
Realbisexualcouples.com.
Lots of business idea.
It must just really be hard. I mean, like, because you're weeding through all these guys who are just like, oh, well, I'll.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what are they thinking actually?
You mean
the straight guys who are like straight guys, or they're like, yeah, maybe I'm semi-bisexual or something, and they show up. Like, what are they thinking?
They just want to fuck a girl.
Oh God, so desperate.
And then they come and they were hoping that
are they just like they're like really desperate, or are they actually not sure and they find out?
I don't know.
Okay.
So
If the vast majority of guys will immediately say, no, I'm straight and I will never do anything.
Right.
And we don't want those kind of guys. If someone says, well, no, I'm straight, but I'm flexible. Okay. But we don't want those saying, no, I'm straight, because you just want to fuck the girl.
Yeah.
if I want to fuck a guy, I just look for a guy. But when I find a guy to play with both of us, I want it to be a specific guy. So same for him. If he wants to fuck a girl, he just look for a girl. But if we want to get a girl that can play with both, it has to be specific. Otherwise, it won't work.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Give me an idea. Like the last time you guys played with either a single guy or like a couple, bisexual. Like what you're looking for. Like what does it look like? What does the play look like?
We
Get the couple girl one.
Like the last time you guys were with a couple, like what is an average sort of? I mean, not average, but like what does it look like the play? Like maybe just sort of walk me through it.
Swinger club.
a swinger club it's not actually kinky.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just swinging.
Yeah.
Swinger club was actually the
It's less kinky.
one couple, for example, and they were, I don't know, they claimed to be friends. I don't know if they were really together or what. And it was fun because we were just laughing and I was fucking the girl and
Yeah, he had a fun time.
Was the guy bisexual or?
No.
in swinger clubs usually the rule is that you cannot do anything homosexual between guys.
The rule.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I tried.
International rule in swinger clubs is that guys do not play.
Okay.
That's an international rule.
Even if they want to, it's like do that somewhere else.
They cannot do.
Wow.
Because they are going to kicked out of the club.
Wow.
Unless
I
the
didn't
club
know.
has a specific room for bisexual.
Like a bisexual room or something.
So if the club doesn't say anything, it means that it follows international rules and guys are not allowed to play.
So funny.
I try to find absurd.
International swinging rules. Guys do not kiss or suck each other's dicks. Get the fuck out of here.
You need, wherever you go, any community including, for example, I don't know, Facebook, which is a community. Every community has its own rules. Some of them are specifically written. Some of them you will immediately know when you will start playing.
Yeah.
For example, you immediately spot when someone is new in a Facebook group because they will start writing things or posting or questions and so on that really don't feel right in that group. You immediately spot it. So even non-written rules exist because every community needs them.
Yeah, like for example, in the last time we were playing with the couple, in the swinger club, I started like playing with his ass, but then he escaped. I was like, well, what happened? And he says it's not something that you do in a swinger club.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that.
Yeah, even that.
That's so interesting.
So like swinging, it's not that easy to get a couple to play with outside swinger club.
Yeah.
And then when you are in the swinger club, you have all these rules. So it's not very
Kind of like the opposite of kinky, right? It's like you guys have your like your pretty extreme kind of kinky stuff that you guys like, you exploring and stuff, and then on the other end you have swinging, which is sort of kind of vanilla in a way, right?
Yeah, because of the community. Yeah, we had to.
Totally different people doing one and the other.
I don't know if it's common for people to do both like us.
It's I don't know, but yeah, like looking at your profiles and stuff, I was just like, like, you know, into this, into that, and then like, you know, orgies and swinging, like,
Yeah.
I can sense that there's like two parts of you, you know, like you probably like it if there was something in the middle or.
That doesn't exist. So I adjust wherever I am. I adjust to the local rules.
Yeah.
For example, there is one thing that we have been trying to do, but it's just so hard, is to get a bisexual girl who is okay with toilet play.
Okay.
So that the three of us can do swinging and toilet play at the same time.
Okay. And she'd be like the dom, really, or she'd be like the slave sub?
The dom, like doing it with me to him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's so hard to find.
Oh.
And we found like
we sort of played with one girl.
Yeah, she was a sub from another master dimension. So she was sent to find she was sent out to being used by her dom.
Gotcha.
And we can request specific things that we want her to do.
Okay.
And she will, if the dom how do you say it, agrees, we can play that with her. So we tried toilet play with her. But the whole thing was just oh my god, can you really do that? And like, oh my god, it's just like,
she came with a
she came with a small bottle or container of poop. And I made him eat that. Okay. And she was I don't know how to say, like amazed or terrified.
She also fisted me, I think. Was it when you fisted me with it? I don't remember.
I think she also fisted me. Oh. I don't remember. Probably we did. Because he can take double fisting.
What?
And most of the time it's just me doing one and then do another, so my both hands are inside. Okay. But we wanted to find a girl that like I put one in my hand and she put one. So we like double fisting. Okay. And it's just hard. I think we did twice with that sub girl and with the friend of ours.
You also did with Emmy, right?
Yeah. So we managed to get 2 so far.
Amazing. Wow. Yeah. So like as far as fisting and fingering and like using an object, what is the feeling? What's the difference for you guys? Is it always bigger is better, like as far as intensity and like, you know, heightened awareness? And
well, I don't do very well with long things because naturally inside you have a turn, okay? And for some people, that turn is like, I don't know, after 20 centimeters. For some people, it's much shorter. In my case, it's much shorter. So I don't do well with long things. It hurts. And I really, really cannot do that. But I'm very flexible. So I can take very large things, not long things.
Gotcha.
For example, we tried a strapless strap-on. That's one end go inside me, and the other end go inside him.
Right.
And it was just too long, and it's so it will be uncomfortable for both.
Yeah.
But then if I do fisting, I go like my hands are small. I go in, and then I go like in a
So you put your hand in like a wedge with the fingers straight, and then once you get in,
I make
then you make
Close,
a fist.
I
Okay.
fist. So it's just so nice to be inside.
Tell me about that. Like, tell me that
It's
feeling.
it's hard to get in, even if it's trained. It's flexible. It's flexible just in the sense that it will not get like teared. The skin will not get teared, so you will not get hurt. But if you to go in, you have to put lots of lubricant, and it's still you have to push. You have to really push. And the moment that it's in, you have a feeling like you got sucked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Well, unless I do the stretching before.
Yeah, but it's so as you have to really once you're in, if you're like giving the fisting, I don't know like receiving how it feels because I've never been fisted, but to give the fisting, it feels like he's completely vulnerable at the back, and I just do what I want at the back. He cannot see it. He can only tell me if it hurts or not, but I'm just like completely inside him while he's being in a very submissive position. So that's the whole setting, just seeing it and feeling my fist inside. You go to heaven.
Does that like make you wet immediately?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Yeah, it's not like a certain thing, but it doesn't really link.
Okay, different.
Yeah. So, yeah, it depends on other settings, but the thing itself, just mentally, it's very.
Do you guys feel like the kink and the dominance, the slavery, like pushing the boundaries and stuff, is that linked to sexuality, sexual pleasure, or do you feel like they're different, or they overlap but not that much, or how do you think about that?
Some does overlap. Some are like just more like a mental gratification, but like for me it's more gratification, like a feeling inside. It doesn't have necessarily link with sex. Not all of those make me wet like instantly, but I still enjoy doing it. And for him, I think it's more linked. For example, if I feed him poop, even if it's like it will. If I feed a small amount, he gets hard.
Okay.
But if I feed a lot, no, then he has to turn on doing that. Yeah.
It's just that right amount.
Yeah, that's the right amount.
So it's not the little blue pill. It's the just a little bit of shit.
Yeah.
Okay, like the Viagra.
He doesn't need a blue pill to hard.
Interesting. Let me. So I saw in your profile you changed from heteroflexible. So you changed to heteroflexible 5 months ago. What were you before that? You might have just been randomly clicking around on the website on FetLife.
I think it was. Oh, I don't really remember.
Bisexual.
Bisexual,
Probably.
maybe.
I think bisexual.
I actually don't even know the difference.
Yeah, probably I was bisexual. I trained to heteroflexible because
Bisexual is you really have like you can have a partner, can be male, female, doesn't make a difference.
yeah.
heteroflex. You put now heteroflex.
Flexible. Then that means that I can play with girls.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy playing with girls, but I don't.
It's not 50-50.
Yeah.
You're like 80-20, 70-30, something. Okay.
And I enjoy playing with girls that I already know well, and I have I feel comfortable. I don't just get turned on by looking at girls. I have to get connected with them, and I enjoy playing sexually with them.
Yeah.
But just like meeting a girl and then playing, just many times doesn't.
Nothing.
Yeah. And
Do you like to use like impact play or something, like slapping, spanking, something like that?
oh yeah, we do a lot of slapping and then spanking and stuff. And I spank him on the face, also on the ass, and we use tools to mark. So the most effective things we find so far is the cable.
Electric cables.
Yeah, because his skin is dark and somehow thick. I don't know, but smooth.
Yeah, you have like really nice skin.
Yeah, that's another thing we will mention. He's all shaved, like totally shaved, because I don't like hair. So he's like no body hair. And for marking, we use the cable, and he's very hard to mark. So it has to be one time very hard, and like seriously hard, and then we'll mark.
And then how long does it mark for?
If it's a good mark, it can last like probably a week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
if it's a good one.
Breaking the skin a little bit?
No, without
it
breaking
doesn't
the
break.
skin.
It doesn't break. It just get.
I mean, if you break the skin, it's different. And if you break the skin, it marks in a very different way. So marks is when it gets like a bruise. So if you manage to get the bruise lasts for, depends how intense, between 4 days and up to 10 days.
When did you first try impact play?
A very long time ago. I try to think. I think the first time I did and I enjoyed it was maybe in 2000.
Okay. Yeah.
So like 20 years ago.
Like intense play. But before that, maybe, I don't know, the slapping and things, spanking.
rough sex.
Yes. But probably the first time I did something like more was, maybe, I don't know, 20 years ago, something like that. So.
And when I like slap or spank, I do like really hard. And there's one. We use the cable thing, and I try to slap him, and I do like many times on one spot, and the pain doesn't go like immediately. So I just like do one on top of another. It was just too much. It was just too much. So then we change into like doing one time really hard, and it will give the mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not just multiple. You've switched to just one really hard.
Yeah, unless I really want him to suffer.
Okay.
Just like I know what kills
like
him.
several times in the same spot, you don't achieve a better result. And it's extremely uncomfortable. So it's much better to have one single, for example, if intensity is 10, okay, it's much better to have a single 10 and then you rest than having 10 times 1. 10 times 1 will not mark more, but it's extremely uncomfortable to receive.
Would you guys do this as part of like having sex, or would you do this as part of like, I don't know, like toilet play, or how does it work? Is it like you would just do like bend over, I'm gonna hit you with the cable, and then like that's it, or like how do you?
We combine things.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we start playing like that, we can start with sex, or we can start with. And then it will go like from one to another. Usually. And with toilet play, you have to. Usually, it started with sex and then toilet play.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
What's an example of that? Like can you give me an example of that?
For example, we start like normal sex. We just like in the bed, and suddenly I feel like pooping, and I just like do it in his mouth.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like, do you go to the bathroom or you do it in the bed?
in the bed. And after
Damn.
that, we get more turned on and we have more sex. Yeah.
So interesting. Like for me, like I was looking at like the videos and stuff. It's like I felt like, oh my god, uncomfortable.
You had to watch the video.
Yeah, he didn't have to watch that.
She has my password, so
No, I posted it in where? Where did I post it? In your profile?
I have no idea.
I forgot.
Do
Anyway.
you think it's one of the most extreme kinks out there?
The most extreme is blood and even mutilation and stuff like that. So
It's not the most.
that is extremely dangerous, and I really don't want to do that, and it's permanent. I mean, you risk serious damage.
Yeah, I've seen like
So,
people getting turned.
Poop is in the end is nothing permanent, and second is not dangerous. You might have a stomach upset. Okay, fine, done.
But
Yeah.
rarely even.
But yeah, blood and on in like quite extreme situations. This is extreme and dangerous. That's really dangerous kinks.
Yeah, I've seen like people get turned on with needles.
Yes.
So like lots of needles.
Well, needles, I receive needles. That's fine. That doesn't really hurt. It's not especially dangerous because it just gets the. I was with a girl many years ago, and she was very much into needles. And once I had something like 50 needles on me. Doesn't even hurt.
And they're not deep.
Huh?
They're not deep. They're just
No. It's very superficial. It does not even bleed. And she was very turned on by covering me in needles. Okay, fine. But that's, I wouldn't call it extreme.
Yeah.
Extreme is, for example, I saw some stuff like people having their testicles open. That's exactly.
Whoa!
Exactly, and that's really bad. Yeah.
Wow.
Also like
So that's
Mentally recovering.
That's extreme.
yeah, probably you can do that like once in a life and then you're done. That's
Yeah.
extreme. Yeah.
Needles, is that something you want to experiment with? Have you tried it?
Not at all.
It doesn't do it for you?
No.
Yeah.
I actually hate needles.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I don't like. I feel uncomfortable just holding it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not going to happen with me.
Yeah, it like lowers my blood pressure just to like look at one.
yeah.
Feel like fainting. What else should we talk about? There's so much to talk about, but we can't talk all night. All right, so you said pussy licking was one of your newest kinks, along with soft sex. It was like, I think, as far as your history of interests, that was the newest ones.
Yeah. That's. I started finding that really enjoyable when I play with girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So before that, I like really rough. And when I was like just starting this kinky life, I like it really rough.
Yeah.
And also I like to have a dom doing like really rough things to me.
Yeah.
But then I started to feel like you don't get much from the interaction if it's just rough. Actually, it's quite. You have to think in another way, because if it's all rough, you get all the how is it, the pounding, the stuff.
Yes.
It's like you just have those, you're controlled by those, and you're throwing in something. But if you go from soft sex, either with guy or with girl, you get a lot more out of it. That pace, at least for me.
More
With
like
the-
connection.
Yeah, connection, and you feel more.
Okay.
Your whole body feels more. If you're like doing rough stuff, you get like, for example, a very hard slap on your face, and for 1 minute you only feel that.
Yeah.
But with soft sex, you feel lots of stuff for the entire body, and that's a thing that I realized in a later time. after I go into this. Yeah, so that accompanied with, for example, toilet play is really enjoyable for me. So I like to do very hard marking on him, and then we start doing like really soft sex.
Okay.
It's really good. Yeah.
Interesting. I would not think that would work, but okay, yeah, I can see that.
I get very bored by rough sex.
Okay, it's kind of like one note.
Yeah.
It's sometimes she wants it, and I start doing it, and I say, okay, I'm tired.
Yeah, but then
Like physically tired or what?
it's
Apart from physically tired, obviously, if you push hard, you cannot do it for 2 hours. But I get bored. I really get bored.
Kind of feels like you're sort of you're taking on a role. You're sort of like acting. You know, you're like doing the rough sex thing.
Yeah.
yeah, and there's less between the two.
Yeah.
If it's rough.
Yeah.
It's just one to the other.
Yeah.
And you have to really all you can do is to give strength, and there's less between the two. That's what I feel.
Yeah. So you guys are going to the Munch or the masquerade party tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like, so when you like meet up with a group of new people, how does that interaction work? How do you sort of figure out who you like, who you want to play with?
First of all, we would like to play with people who are attractive to us.
Okay, yeah. So like not ugly.
Yeah.
But first of all, tomorrow is going to be a bit of a strange situation because they have two very different groups, BDSM and swinging. Not necessarily the two things merge well. And I don't know how it's going to be, honestly. So we're here, we're going to go. Just keeping the expectations low, and if something good happens, great.
We usually just start like sharing not too extreme stuff to people and see how they react.
Yeah, but
It's
just to
just
chat,
chat,
for example, I mentioned that I was going to dress like girl to the organizer, and she was she didn't say anything, but I looked in her face and she was not pleased with that. So, well, we will go, and yeah, exactly, we will go and we will see.
And like at these kind of parties, do you normally just sort of like, it's more of like a networking event for you, like to kind of figure out who you like, and then from there you'll connect later, or is it more like, hey, we're at the party, let's do something, let's play, let's have sex?
Oh, it's more.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have absolutely fantastic time when you go to a party of those. Especially, for example, in UK. In UK, it's not networking. In UK, it's only in the party.
Okay.
After the party, you can forget that you haven't seen that person. So it's all the parties. In other places, you get the contact, and then you meet after, and so on. It really depends.
Yeah.
And how, like, so I'm just interested in your sort of like relationship arrangement and stuff. Are you guys together most of the year, or it sounds like you live in separate places once in a while? Like, percentage-wise, how much of the time are you guys together?
Well, we have quite complicated stuff going on last year, but we try to be together for
9
like,
months per year.
yeah. And it doesn't have to be like continuously 9 months. It just can be like 3 months on and 1 month off, 3 months on. Yeah, something like that. But we try to stay together.
Yep. Great.
Yeah.
I like it. I think having a little bit of time apart keeps
I
things.
love it.
Yeah, it's like a fresh air coming in.
How long were you guys apart before you met up? Just a couple days ago?
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Yeah.
And before that, we were together for 3 months. And then before that, we were separate for how long?
I don't remember. 2 months.
So it's on and off. But we are stuff together. We just not necessarily have to be in the same place. Yeah. So he does a lot of traveling, and I'm still like starting off with career and all stuff. So it's hard to like be in the same place.
Do you guys message each other all the time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like every day?
Yeah, every day.
Oh yeah, million messages.
Yeah.
Super cute. What else? So next you're going to the Philippines and Japan,
Yeah.
and then Europe. I guess you guys just travel a lot. You're just all over the place.
Yeah. For Europe, I'll have to do a master's degree in London starting from September. So we will probably be in Europe in late June or July.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is London like a good place to meet people?
Well, I've only been to London for one time.
Well, party-wise, yes.
He's been in London for long. Yeah. But he said that it's hard to like get people out.
Get people out of like the club or like meet them outside of.
Yeah, you don't have like a social life in London, really. You don't have friends in London. You go to parties, you go to events, you go to courses, you go to whatever. So you can stuff your entire week with things to do, but it's not that you have your own friends.
Okay. So people, they like compartmentalize it or something?
You go to the club, you go to the class or whatever, you go yoga class, you go to this and that and that and that and that. So your entire week is stuffed with things.
Yeah.
But you don't have a social life like, I don't know, I have my friends. Oh, I'm calling my friend to go for a beer. Yeah, maybe in 2 months. Very common in London is that you tell your friends to meet 2 months later.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. There's not as much like crossover. Just like, oh, we're like yoga friends. We're this type of friends. We're not just friends.
Well, maybe they are your friends, but it's not that you can just call your friends and say, oh, let's go for a drink. No way. It doesn't happen. That's London.
Is Taiwan better for that?
Yeah, to go for dinner from 6:30 to 7:30 and then disappear. Yes.
Yeah, Taiwanese have a very at least my friends from university, what they do is okay, today we're going out, and what we do, we go to a restaurant maybe at 5:30. They eat really early, and then after the restaurant, they maybe go for a little drink for like 1 hour, and then back home.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like there are people like doing like more nightlives, but
social life in Taiwan is we go for 1 hour restaurant. That's the social life in Taiwan.
Yeah, mostly like that.
So where's the good social life?
Yeah, most of the time will be spent in looking at the menu, ordering and eating, so you don't have too much time to talk.
And of course, taking the photo of the food.
Yes, obviously. So for example, he meets is like when you're in Barcelona, he said that you can just call friends and go out like for that evening, and they go for drinks and like party and stuff. But in Taiwan, usually you call your friends and then they will say, maybe, okay. And then if it's a yes, it's dinner for a restaurant, and maybe that's it. Yeah. If it's a trip, you have to organize, and it's hard to get people out like to go for a trip. So.
And if it is a trip, it's probably way over organized, and it's just like doing this, doing that.
Yeah.
You never have time to like chit chat.
So I don't really.
So you guys are just gonna keep moving. Are you ever gonna?
We want to settle. We want to settle.
Where would you settle down?
We don't know yet. We really don't know.
She has to decide after her master, based on the opportunity she will have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, like settle down.
But we will still be traveling a lot. But we want the base.
Okay.
Like we want somewhere we can put our stuff. We can, when we are tired of traveling, we can just go back for 3 months. Yeah, so.
Gotcha. It's not what most people would consider settling down. You're like, yeah, we've got our stuff in a place and we're there 3 months a year.
Yeah. It's hard for us to just stay in a city for, I don't think we can stay in a place for more than 1 year.
Yeah.
Like 1 year is too
It's just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just lucky with it. At least for now.
What kind of people do you normally click with, connect with, like you have chemistry with? Is it the, you know, like, is it people who also travel a lot, or is it people who are in their city doing their local city thing?
We have lots of friends that are also digital nomad.
Yeah.
So they travel. If they're just in a city for the rest of their life. Usually we lost contact with them for after a while, because we will be like, see, they have their own stuff there.
Yeah.
If we're both traveling, then we have lots to share to each other.
Right.
Like now you're here, we're here, so we're like connecting in some ways, like both sharing places that we're traveling. So.
And people who just like stay in one place, they're just sort of like, oh, you went to this place, wow, that's so cool. And and you never get over, you're just like talking about places, you know, like actually talking about stuff, like real stuff. They're just like dazzled, or, you know, it's offending their own sense of themselves. Like, why didn't I do that? And like, it's like, all right, let's just talk about like stuff.
Let's talk about life.
It's like,
let's
I don't want
talk
to
about
trigger
work.
you, sorry.
Like in Taiwan, I was there for a few months, and I met up with my friends from university. They all start working, and all of them were complaining about their work. And I was saying, oh, I went to there and there and there.
Uh-oh.
And they were like, okay, so my boss said this.
Yeah.
So they were just,
You
it's
don't
no,
even wanna,
yeah, you can connect with people like that, at least with working people.
You don't want to hear it. Like people love their problems, right? And if you're like, hey, I'm doing really good. This is what I'm doing. They're like, okay, anyway, next.
Yeah.
Talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about my
all the
problems.
shit.
Yeah, let's talk about the hard life I had.
So how long are you going to be in Bali?
In Bali for 3 weeks, I think.
Until the 10th.
Yeah, until the 10th of March. So, and after that, we try to go to Timor-Leste.
Which one?
Timor-Leste.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I still have to get the visa. Oh my god.
Sorry.
Yeah. You can go without visa, I cannot. So, and then I will have to go back to Taiwan for a checkup for my health. And then if everything's fine, Philippines. Yeah.
Philippines is great, yeah. Islands or a city?
We don't know. Still planning.
Islands. I really love Palawan, so probably we will spend some time in Palawan.
Yeah. We're very flexible.
Cool. All right. So last question. What's something you really want to try? Like something you've got in your head of like, you know, like the list, but like what's, you know, you said you have like a vision for the relationship. What does that look like? Well, you know, you're gonna get there. What does that look like?
I would say it's rather more of a state than a visual thing that like it's going to be like fixing. I feel more like when we can reach a state where we can do any kind of experiments without having fear that it will do damage to things to us. Well, we of course will not do damage to other people, but it will not do damage to us, and we can just experiment that. For example, now we're into all these things that you see on Fat Life, but maybe in 3 years we will not be interested in any of these again. But we want to keep experimenting, like what we will like in 10 years. We don't know what we will like, but we want to experiment on that. Yeah, that's we're working towards that now. But there are still like fights and stuff. Yeah.
Do you feel like it's where it's sort of like you're going out and you're experimenting with different things and you're finding the things that you really like to sort of bring into your core repertoire, or is it sort of is it more linear where like you keep experimenting and then that new thing gets boring and you have to go to the next thing, you have to go to the next thing, like the more intense.
Oh, for now we
Not that.
Not like that.
we experiment on
It's a
things,
journey.
and we will find things like randomly, and we will like we will be on this road, and then we will find something on the way, and we'll open a completely new road, but it will be somehow related to the old ones.
Yeah.
So it's just like we go on this journey on where it will take us. So we don't have to like go on this road or that road. We just see whatever road we can take and have fun in that.
Sounds amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for listening, and I want to thank my sponsors. I'm just kidding, I don't have any sponsors. I'm just doing this to connect with people in kink because I'm pretty vanilla and I want to figure out what all this kinky shit's about. If that resonates with you, join me on the journey and subscribe so you get all the next episodes. And you can also join in on the conversation by going to fetlife.com, finding my profile, Hunk Hands, like a hunky guy, and hands with an S, Hunk Hands. And on my profile, you're going to see a journal entry with the show notes, and that's where you can comment, you can tag friends, you can like, and you can interact. So if you haven't already done it and you want to follow the show, hit that subscribe button and get all the next episodes. And thanks to I Hate This Place for the show music. See you next week.